Hey YouTube land, Tech Hunters there, doing another action figure review, and today we are having a look at a gold label Mcfarlane DC Multiverse Dark Knight Catwoman and Batpod. Well, actually it's the Dark Knight Rises film, but this is the Catwoman and Batpod. So this is the box that it comes in. You can see the gold label. There was a single standalone version of Catwoman in a kind of standard box, and I believe this is the exact same figure, just with less accessories, and we'll get into that in a minute. So you're treated to this box, which is, it clearly states, is 14 inches or 36 centimeters. You have some assembly required when you get this thing out of the packaging. Most notably, just adding on the front cannons onto the pod, and then flipping around the back of the box, you have an image taken from the movie. I believe it's taken from the movie, a still from the movie, and then you have it says fits most 7-inch figures, and then each vehicle comes with a collector card, English only, and then it has just images of Catwoman and then legally stuff as well. So I got this from a local supplier called Uncanny Collectibles. They do some really good stuff. So I'll drop a link in the description below of this video to their site. Now I'm going to try and get her to stand if I can, and I'll bring in the pod. So the pod is here. In fact, both things have trouble standing. The pod without a figure on it can just barely balance, and then Selena Kyle herself, and just get her to stand. There we go, without touching her. She does barely stand, and she suffers the fate of most Catwoman figures because she is wearing high heels or fairly high heeled boots. She has trouble standing. It was the same with all the Mcfarlane 66 style Catwoman. They had high heels on. So from the tip of this thing, the very front of the gun to the back is exactly 14 inches, which is exactly what it said on the tin. It's not very wide. I'm just going to leave it flat like this so you can see. The widest part is from these handles, and that is only around 4 inches. So it has a very sleek, slender profile, which it did in the movie. So if you're familiar with the machine from the movie, you know this is a kind of weird contraption that comes out of the tumbler, and it is essentially the front 2 tires of the tumbler that become this thing. But it is a really cool, nicely done machine. Again, it would have been nice had they included some sort of stand for this thing. They did drop the ball a little bit. If there had been some sort of clear piece that went around this, or even something, and I don't think there is, if something just swung down just from the back, just to give it a bit more stability, because even without a figure on it, you will have issues trying to get it to stand, and it makes it worse then when you have a figure on it, as evident. But we'll have a quick look at the Catwoman figure herself before I go through adding her to the pod. I'm just going to lean it up this way. So she is fairly articulated. In fact, I think she's more articulated than some previous figures. She does have, as advertised on the box, she does have these flip down goggles, and they flip up just like they did in the movie, that represent her cat-like ears. Likeness wise, I'm not entirely convinced it does look like Anne Hathaway. In certain angles it does. Overall, I'm not too convinced it does look like her. Compared to some of the other figure likenesses, I think this one's a little hit and miss. But you do have those round peg shoulder things, and she can move her arms out that way. You can rotate them all the way around. She does have a, it's not quite a bicep swivel, but it's like just above the elbow swivel. She does have the double jointed elbows. She has those newer style wrist articulation where it's more hidden within the sculpt of the actual figure. Same goes for the ones on the feet. She does have a split. She can kick forward and back that much, but you just have to move her kind of waist piece out of the way a bit. She does have a thigh swivel, which is something I don't think many figures have in the Mcfarlane range. I'm assuming that's to give her a little bit extra clearance to fit on this bike. And then she has double jointed knees. She has those rocker ankles with her boots, or silver tipped or silver stiletto boots. You have waist articulation and the upper waist articulation, and then the head is on a ball joint, so you can get some range of movement on that. So she is quite articulated. She does come with an extra set of claws. So if I get her to stand, as I said, I'm just going to use, she does come with one of these stands. That is the one positive note with her. In fact, if I have not used it. So, oh, and she does have the toe articulation as well, which is kind of weird. I wouldn't have imagined you have much need for that on a figure like this because of the way her shoes are designed. They're very blocky. So if you have the figure stand that she comes with, happy days. She does stand quite nicely on it. She does come with one other accessory, which I will take out of its little baggie, which I'm making a mess of. She does come with a file card as they described on the box. So Catwoman and Batpod. It has been 8 years since Batman vanished into the night, turning that instant from hero to fugitive, assuming the blame for the death of DA Harvey Dent. The Dark Knight sacrificed everything for what he and Commissioner Gordon both hoped was the greater good. For a time, the lie worked as criminal activity in Gotham was crushed under the weight of an anti-crime Dent Act. But everything will change with the arrival of a cunning cat burglar with a mysterious agenda. Far more dangerous, however, is the emergence of Bane, a masked terrorist whose ruthless plans for Gotham drive Bruce out of his self-imposed exile. But even if he dons the cape and cowl again, Batman may be no match for Bane. So that is the write-up on the back of the card. She does also include 2 additional hand accessories, which are these kind of wide hands, or wide open hands. I'm not sure what accessory you could probably use with them. I know on the original figure she came with an attaché case which had a necklace in it, which I think is the one that she steals from Bruce's place at the start of the movie. So she does come with that, and I think she comes with an extra, like an additional pair of hands on top of those kind of more wide open hands. I think she has the punching fists as well as the grip hands, so you have that. But she does sit this contraption quite nicely. So in fact, I have not actually tried her on this contraption since I got her. The first person I put onto this Batpod was the Dark Knight himself. So in order to get her on, you have to put her into kind of a kneeling position so her feet fit onto the pod, and then she's kind of in a crouched, if I can get the positioning right. There is handles just underneath that her hands should slip into. So bear with me a moment while I try to fiddle and fumble this thing on screen for your entertainment. Like that. So you should be able to bend her head a bit so she can get a more kind of natural looking where she's going pose. But you can see she does fit the Batpod. There is kind of, for slightly larger figures, there is elbow rests inside here where the elbows can sit down. There is the knee pad rest, and then there's the feet area. The pod itself is fairly plain. The wheels they're rubber over a plastic hub, and they do roll quite nicely. Essentially, it is just all connected together. These pieces can adjust slightly, and then it is a solid piece. As I said, can we get her to stand? on the Batpod and have it stand at the same time. It is not looking likely. A small light breeze would push this thing over. Let's try rotating it around. Maybe it could be this thing isn't very level that it's on, but I believe it is. Nope. And we'll just jam one of our hands in under the wheel. Maybe that might work. Oop. Slightly. Ta-da! So, I guess I found a use for those spare hands. Yeah, as I said, it's a cool design. It's really nice. It's film accurate to as best they could get it, I suppose. Unfortunately, it doesn't do the whole rotating thing that it does in the film. I think this whole entire front thing just rotates around with the person on it, and it's able to kind of crawl up walls and roll all over the place. It is pretty cool, but unfortunately, it does suffer from a very, very bad balancing issue. And hopefully people out there may have done some custom stands for this thing, because it definitely needs it. Like people on Etsy or something like that may have done a printable 3D base for it. A 3D printed thing that would fit over the back wheel would be in clear plastic, would be perfect for a stand, although it should have come with it originally. Excuse me. Now let's see if we can. All right, I'm just going to troubleshoot and put her back onto her base because she is not wanting to stand. But for size comparisons, we will bring in the Dark Knight himself, who I only just realized after having him for ages has a wonky leg. And I can't unsee it now. His right leg here is actually slightly askew. So his knee is not facing forward just like his other leg. And I can't unsee that now for some reason. Alright, I'm going to push this back a little bit further. And hopefully if I jam that hand up there, jam the hand in under the wheel, it won't start rolling on me. Because I want to bring in a couple of other figures. Also from the Dark Knight movies, but not necessarily from the Dark Knight Rises. Here is the Joker figure. The Heath Ledger Joker. And just bring on the other side. Let's move her head down a bit because it looks like she's staring into space. And then we have the bank heist Joker as well, which utilizes the same bodies. Pretty much the legs are the same, the arms are pretty much the same. The only difference is the waistcoat piece and the heads, obviously. Well, technically the heads, the clown head is the only different accessory. He does come with a head that looks exactly like this. I'm surprised Mcfarlane didn't go all the way out and try and do the nurse uniform style Joker, because he's done all the other kind of iterations of Joker from this franchise. It would have been cool. It'd be the first time you've seen anyone attempt that, I would imagine, but that would have been cool. I never picked up the other two figures in that wave, the Build-A-Bane figure wave, which was Scarecrow and Two-Face. I must pick that up. The only reason I didn't go back and pick them up is because I ended up buying the gold label Bane, which is essentially the same figure, just with a trench coat. And it comes, I did get, Joker comes with all the arms and the hands for that Bane figure, so I didn't really need to get all the extra parts for it. But all in all, yeah, she does look pretty cool. It is a nice set. As I said, I picked mine up on Uncanny Collectibles. They do, I think they still have an extra one of them at the time of this recording. If not, you can always message them to see if they can get extras in, because they are quite good at sourcing figures and collectibles for people. So it is worth reaching out to them if they don't have it in stock at the moment, to see if they can get it in again. I do know they are planning to be getting the Lucius Fox and Tumbler set and the desert camo style Tumbler from the same films. So if you want to, or the same film franchise, so if you want to reach out to them and see if you can pre-order that with them, do so. But as I said, the best thing to do is message them if it's not shown on the website and see if they can source stuff for you. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video review for the Catwoman the Selena Kyle Catwoman, aka Anne Hathaway. As I said, I'm not convinced it looks exactly like her from the film, but then again, it's hit and miss on some of the sculpts. Some of them look dead on to their character representation or their actor representation, some of them don't. So again, it's hit and miss with the Mcfarlane line. But all in all, it's not a bad set, and I think it's the only way to get the Batpod at the moment, unless they reissue it with a Batman instead later on down the line. But as at the time of this recording, I believe it is the only way to get the Batpod, and you do get a Catwoman, so it saves you having to buy an extra Catwoman in the single carded version unless you want all the extra accessories. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video review. As always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and help me hit my goal for the summer of hopefully getting 5k subscriptions. And if not, please share this video with friends and people who might enjoy it. Cheers, guys.